welcome one, welcome all. We are here at, well, we're somehow on the Mississippi River is what I'm being told. I don't understand it. I don't understand how we made it this far. We started in Branson, Missouri, and we're on the Mississippi River. Moving north, I think. I don't even know. My name is Derek Osceola. That's Lucille Krampelkorn. What I do know is that this is the Global MEGAFist 12. This is episode 7, the third fight for the heavyweights tonight. Lucille, nothing else makes sense to me at this point. But, at least, help me finish that sentence, please.
I would say go with the flow, Derek, but we're even bucking that trend. We're moving against the mighty current of Old Man River himself, the mighty Mississippi. Who knows where we'll end up? This is a baffling experience. I feel like I wake up and we're in new locations every time.
Well, we are somehow on a moving riverboat. A riverboat that usually is just kind of stationary in Branson, and it somehow, we found someone to commandeer it.
We have loosed it from its moorings. We have, I believe, completely cut the anchor free. This is bizarre. I don't know where we'll end up next. I'm kind of afraid.
Honestly, you and me both.
But we got heavyweight action. We got heavyweight amateur MMA action, and that will alleviate my onsetting anxiety, at least for the time being. So
that it
I'm
will
that.
For me as well. Our main event is a big one. Meat Eater Marty Sweats, a brand new, I want to say brand new. He's already had 2 fights, but a newcomer to the Global MEGAFist 12. It's his first season, taking on the defending champion at heavyweight, Dr. Igor Tonic. Both fighters 1-1. Should be a big one, a pivotal fight for these two. These are the fights that kind of make or break, and you want to keep pace with the top, and you want to make it to that top 2.
Oh, absolutely, Derek. I mean, this could be the turning point, the pivotal matchup. For a successful 2020 season or a unsuccessful 2020 season, and I was not expecting Igor Tonic to be in this position this early, but this new crop of fighters and even the returning fighters have brought it in unique ways so far.
Yeah, it's in a way, Dr. Igor Tonic's back is kind of against the wall. His first fight this season was a loss. Of course, it was to Oliver Lehman, but it's the idea of you keep a man. You back up a man against the wall, he's going to have to fight his way out, and he knows how to. Marty Sweats, 1-1, got a win over Loyal 42, also lost to Oliver Lehman. This is really anyone's fight. Can staying in that group. We talked about Oliver Lehman. He's taking on Dan Rodenta in a very different fight. Lehman seemingly unstoppable so far. Wins in the second round twice over. He faces a man who is 0-2, Dan Rodenta. Hard to feel like it's going to change, but that being said, that's why we fight them. And Rodenta, is he going to be like, despite all his rage, will he be a rat in that cage, or will he in fact crumple yet again?
Yeah, Lehman fell short last season, but I think that has lit a tremendous fire under him. He is going out there and putting people away impressively. Dan Rodenta, if I'm not mistaken, his back was almost against the wall last year. Of course, we had guys like Nicholas Polka and a few others to kind of bulwark him against the threat of relegation. But he's looking on the chopping block as it is this season early on, which is a bad spot for anybody.
Yeah, Rodenta was kind of just middle of the pack a lot of last season. He had the fortune of being in the same group as names like, I'm looking at my list right now, Guff Magnuson and Gabe Donahue, who both went 1-4. So he was able to get the wins that matter, but I'm looking at who's in that group with him, and that's a tougher list this season. And that just is compounded by the fact that, look at this, Damian Adder, Lil 42 the answer. Both fighters who have a win over Dan Rodenta already. It's a tough battle for him, but it's a tough battle for these two as they try to jockey for position.
Oh, absolutely. These are, solid fighters. They're, I believe, two of our biggest guys at heavyweight, topping well over 6'6", if I'm not mistaken.
I think you're right. Offhand, I don't remember, but that sounds very accurate. I know Lil 42 is very tall. Adder, bit of an issue. So, yeah, exactly on that one.
These are long, lanky guys, putting their frames to use in various ways. Adder is a bit of a grappler. He's got a couple of submission wins last season. 42, he's going to want to keep it standing. But yeah, this is going to be a good matchup to kind of solidify the middle of the pack unless someone really steps it up, because it's going to be tough with guys like Lehman and Igor Tonic and so many tough fighters.
Yeah. Oliver Lehman yet to fight either of these two. That's how his group stage finishes, and fights against both of these two. However, let's jump over to the other group of this heavyweight division. Handsome Jeff Perkins has come alive in 2020. He is looking to go 3-0, and he's got a fight against the all-seeing Zoltan, who's 1-1 after a big win over Gabe Donahue in the first fight. He lost, of course, to Fritz Milgram, a tough opponent. But this should be a challenge for Perkins. He's fought very different opponents each time. Milgram, Lonnie Fescue, now Zoltan.
Oh, absolutely. Jeff Perkins, he's a much less known commodity than Zoltan. Might be all-seeing, but we haven't seen a lot of Perkins. Our fans haven't necessarily. Our coverage of the Hyperfist was limited to some recap shows at the end of last season. But Jeff Perkins has been on a roll from the Hyperfist into Global Megafist this year.
He is very dangerous. Yes,
he's very dangerous. He's also very untested. A guy like Zoltan could definitely surprise him with his veteran wiles.
I have to agree with you on that one. 2-0 so far with a lot of points, but it's still a very early stages of this. This is the halfway point, of course. Fritz Milgram, Wanderin' Mo Volt. These are two seasoned veterans to the Global Megafist, 12 after meeting last season. I'm double checking to see if they met last season. I believe they did, and Fritz Milgram got the win over Wanderin' Mo Volt in the very first fight for both of them. It was a second round TKO victory. Will it be the same this time, or can Mo Volt possibly get a chance at this one?
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible in the Global Megafist. I mean, Milgram's another guy that's a little surprising to see with a loss already on his record. He was very solid last season. I like the serendipity of the guy with electricity in his body fighting the guy whose last name is Volt. I think,
no doubt about that, yeah.
That's a little bit of fun for everyone, I think.
I would have to agree with you on that one, 100%. That'll be some fun. That'll be a great fight, no doubt about that one. And Gabe Donahue versus Lonnie Fescue, the puppet, the sock puppet enthusiast versus the lawn enthusiast. What more can you say other than what I've just described? However, it'll be an interesting fight. These two have not met before, and this will be a first time for both of them.
Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup. I'm sure that. I mean, pretty much every fight in the Global Megafist is a solid, entertaining matchup. Both guys have their quirks, their weird thing that they're obsessed about. Donahue's is a little stranger, though I would argue that anyone who's obsessed with lawns to the degree that Lonnie Fescue is also just someone you want to keep an eye on in case he gets a little too obsessed, if you know what I mean.
No doubt about that. I would absolutely agree with you. Just as a reminder for anyone who might be unfamiliar, we are fighting in amateur MMA rules tonight, as is always the case here in the Global Megafist. 3 rounds, 150 seconds each, 2.5 minutes is what that totals out to. A 10-point must scoring system. The round winner getting 10 points, his opponent getting 9 or less. No to the groin, no hitting the back of the head, no peeing in the pool. I can't believe we have to go over this again. And of course, No one is getting paid, but the judges score the fight if they go to a distance on aggression, damage control, and a dance contest. So, you know, I guess maybe it's going to happen in the cage. Maybe it's already happened. I don't know. I don't really leave my room except for this. I know you're the same, Lucille. So why don't we just go ahead and get started our opening fight. Damian Adder versus Lil 42 The Answer. That one is starting right now. Take a look at the tail of the tape for this one. When asked, you can see we have, well, I think that's a typo. I think both fighters are in fact 6'7". I don't think Lil 42 The Answer is in fact 5'7". So apologies for the mistake there. We'll get the accurate stats there on that one. However, I understand they were asked what their talent show
Let's go, guys.
what they would be bringing to the talent show. Damian Adder said he'd be doing some... I missed what that was, actually. I can't recall.
Damien said rat swallowing, which I don't think is a talent, it's just a grotesquerie.
Yeah, I understand Lil 42 The Answer once again said no free concerts.
Yep. Put your right arm on his head.
Well, you know.
There you go, nice.
Okay.
What can you do? I mean, no one asked him. There's a talent show. I don't know.
Yeah.
I have nothing more to say about that. But what I can speak on is the fact that Damian Adder has taken this fight right to the ground immediately.
Oh, absolutely. His ground game for being such a tall guy is pretty impressive. Oh, nice ground and pound too on 42.
Yes, Adder, looking so far, he's got, his one win is via submission. So he did get a submission victory over Dan Rodenta before losing via TKO to Dr. Igor Tonic.
And he's seeking out an armbar here, trying to break 42's grip, but just can't quite get the strength to accomplish that. 42, if he's smart, which I hate to disparage a man, but he's not really known himself to be that smart. I was going to say he'd need to stand up, but he might get pounded out here. These are some big shots. Wow. I'm
very surprised by that as well. This is
he survived.
Yeah.
That's it.
He's got toughness, that's for sure.
No doubt about that. I would have to agree with you.
There it is.
And Adder is doing a lot of mauling at this point. He's just staying on the ground. He knows what he's good at. He's just working his strategy, and it's working really, really well against a man who, once again, is a SoundCloud rapper. First and a mixed martial artist, I suppose. Second,
Fifth, probably. Second, I guess.
Yeah, second is very is nice and
Generous.
it is very generous. Yes, I think that's yeah, very generous.
He had a hold of a guillotine,
Time.
but
Stop. Time, guys.
couldn't quite. Even before the bell went, he couldn't secure it. But easy round for Damon Adder. Rule 42 is going to have to make some big improvements.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. You see there's a lot of damage around that right eye of
His legs are tired from trying to hold that figure four.
Lil 42. The answer, Adder. Not much cleaning up need to be done, but of course our socially distanced fight staff, of course, coming in, and there we just saw the ground and pound from Adder. Just because he's just because he is a submission fighter doesn't mean he doesn't have the ability to ground and pound out a win.
Oh, absolutely. His control on the ground is really impressive, and if a limb or a neck is exposed, he'll take it. But if not, he's content to just land big shots from on top.
I will say, though, however, the important thing to remember is that all of Adder's wins so far, all of the Global MEGAFist 12, as I'm looking at my stat sheet, are via submission. Lil 42, the answer. Both fighters are 4-4 as a career. While Adder's wins have all been by submission, Lil 42's wins have been all by knockout or TKO. So none of them have gone to a decision in a winning battle. This will be an interesting way to see how this shapes out. Doesn't necessarily mean we're going to see a finish here. It could be a stalemate. I mean, but it just shows the unpredictability of this, the Global MEGAFist 12.
Yeah, absolutely.
And here's Lil 42 taking control of this battle. This round has been all Lil 42, but just like that, you see how quickly the man, who is just as much snake as he is man, just maneuvers himself and slithers around.
The arm triangle. Don't lose
42
it. Don't
looking
lose
for an
it.
arm triangle. This is a surprising
Nice, baby, nice.
new page from his book that we're seeing from Lil 42, but he just doesn't have the skill to keep Adder off of him.
He's definitely not. Again, that's not where his strengths are, I don't think, and that's nothing even against him as a fighter or a person. And I'm not. Neither of us are really
Get off right now, right now. Get
all
off.
that hesitant to talk about the shortcomings of Lil 42, the answer, as a person, rapper, or
2 minutes. Let's go.
whatever.
Way to work.
But he's got those long limbs. But it seems to be neutralized by
Head
Adder
on
here.
the
This
right.
is a very interesting battle, and it's just interesting to see how much of this is taking place on the ground, where neither fighter's reach can really be used.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, 42's landed some decent elbows from on top, but he is way too content to just stay on top as opposed to backing off and forcing the fight back to the feet. And this is, I feel, a losing battle for Lil 42. He cannot keep up with Adder's skill on the ground. It feels like it's a matter of time before
Yeah, you
Damien
see
catches
Adder
him
just
something.
taking it once again. He's got the mount.
Head control. Take the back.
It kind of is like a constricting snake. He waits for a small opening and advances. Waits for a
Captain.
small opening and lands a punch.
Yeah, a small opening is all it sometimes takes as far as it goes in the Global MEGAFist 12. These fighters aren't necessarily they don't have enough experience sometimes to actually know how to counter something when they get surprised. We go to the end of the second round. We head to a third round now. It'll be very interesting to see
On the ground, you can catch him all day long in that triangle and that armbar.
what
You can
they
catch him all day long, okay?
what the third round will take.
Got it all
What
day.
will happen in the third round? I don't even know what's going to happen at this point. It's going to be very interesting. I think it could be anyone's fight. I think you can make an argument. It's split 1-1 as far as rounds go.
Yeah, I think in terms of damage, 42 definitely had the advantage in the second. He landed some big elbows. For Damien Adder, in terms of control, he took that aspect of it. You can see the big cuts under both of Adder's eyes.
Are you ready?
Looks like one eye might be swelling up a little bit.
Yes, and of course
Oh,
we
that
answer. There's always the
go,
one,
guys, fight.
the big question. What if it comes to the dance fight? What if that is what it happens? What if it comes to the dance contest? That is not a talent that either did mention. We could be seeing a decision that comes to how they competed in the cage, and also how they will dance on the dance floor.
Oh, these are
Right
just
now
big.
we're seeing 42 also not known for being a ground fighter. However, he's taken his shots and placed them very well.
No, 100% Derek. He's, as much as I've said he needs to get the fight back standing, we've seen Damien at the start of every round just shoot for a takedown, so it's iffy how long the fight will stay standing if 42 does just get back to his feet. Damien is relentless for takedowns.
Use the elbow.
No doubt about that. And here we go. There's a takedown, and not only a takedown, but a submission attempt from Adder, going for that arm bar.
Yeah, he's trying to isolate that arm, break the grip, hyperextend the elbow,
and force the tap. Because again, you don't have to be smart or an accomplished mixed martial artist to know that if a limb is bending in a way it shouldn't be, perhaps you maybe go ahead and you get someone to stop doing that to you. And the easiest way to do that is by tapping out and ending the fight.
Yeah, 100%. It doesn't take a genius to know when to give up.
Pressure, elbow.
But I'm impressed by these two fighters going this long. We're at 45 seconds to go, and they both got a lot of energy. I don't think, not sure how many times either fighter has seen a decision, not in a winning effort. So it looks like if we go another 30 seconds, that will be a first for one of these two, a decision victory.
Work that wrist
This is
control.
a very close fight, and for something that took place almost entirely on the ground, it's surprising that 42 has hung in and done as well as he has so far.
Hands up! Hands up!
No doubt about that. We head to the final 5 minutes, and here's maybe a final lasting impression that little 42 is trying to do. He gets
Stop.
the mount
Fight's over.
right
Fight's
as
over, guys.
time expires. Our opening fight goes to a decision, and I gotta say, with the way this fight went, I am very surprised. And you can see how tired and exhausted and absolutely delirious little 42 is. Well, that just could be how he is anyway.
Yeah, he looks not in great mental sorts, but Damien Adder is, he's got face meat hanging off of the bone, it looks like in some spots. He got sliced open with those elbows.
You had me at face meat, Lucille. You had me at face meat. And that is going to be it. We're going to have a decision pending. Who will it be? It's so tough to call. The judges are going to have to go to so many of the criteria. Will the ability to dance factor in? I'm not sure, but we have a winner. And it's Little 42, the answer, gets the win. I'm a bit surprised, but again, you never want to leave it in the hands of the judges. Little 42, the answer, getting a big win.
Now, you don't want to leave it in the hands of the judges, and I guess they were looking more at damage than overall control. And again, don't know if the dance contest was before the fights or after. They cut my feet, at least I didn't see into the cage from my isolation booth. But maybe he impressed there.
I'm a bit befuddled by that as well. However, yeah, I guess we have our next fight coming up. this, our second fight of the evening. Lonnie Fescue, the Lawn Dad, taking on Gabe Donahue, sock puppet enthusiast. Nothing really much more you can say about that. But there you have it. I think the height, weight, and reach goes to Fescue. While the
You ready? Are you ready?
talent show maybe goes to Donahue. It seems like
Let's
Fescue
fight.
said he was just gonna film it. Does he know that we don't need a videographer for this? Like,
You know, I mean, if the, I guess his thoughts are, you know, if the grandparents come by, you want to show that. That's
Sure.
Like his dad mentality coming through.
yeah, it's very large dad energy from Lonnie Fescue. No doubt about that. Bit confusing, but you know, why should anything else at this point surprise me here in the Global MEGAFist 12?
Yep.
That being said, what we are seeing right now is Gabe Donahue, who 0-2 to start things off. Fescue 1-1. Fescue defeated Wandering Mo Volt before losing to
Just keep picking
Jeff
at him.
Perkins.
Let him go.
Donahue lost to the All-Seeing Zoltan and Wandering Mo Volt. So he's going for it. He's going for a triangle choke here. This is definitely a you know, 0-2. We've said it before. It's must-win situation. It's a must-win situation for these fighters.
100% there. I mean, it's
There you go, nice.
he's, you know, Donnie's got to go for whatever he can find, whatever he can do to rack up wins, rack up points to avoid relegation at the end of the season. But you know, he's big shots from Donnie. I
Yeah,
was
he
gonna
is
say
raining down.
this is usually something Fescue would be doing. I was gonna say, you know, when that triangle didn't work out, he had to be careful of, you know, Fescue ending up on top with his big dad energy and big dad strength, just landing haymakers. But he is dominating so far.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by this. Donahue looks like a completely different fighter at this point. Just kind of just working his way up against the cage wall. Fescue just, I mean, he's got the look of confusion, like of someone who's just been overpowered by their own son. It's surprising. He does get a takedown though, so this is a good chance for Fescue. And he charges in and maybe thinks more wisely of it. And gets the takedown and just kind of slows this fight down just a bit. Very smart strategy for the larger Fescue, the ground and pound fighter. That goes to our towels for round number 1. I think Donahue might have taken enough. I don't think that's too hard of a thing
you gotta fight it off.
to make a claim for, but Donahue, my goodness.
Swim that arm over.
Yeah, he landed some good shots. His eyes looking a little swollen though. But to see,
On the ground,
Fescue's
you can
got
catch him all day
a
long
big
with that triangle
cut.
and that armbar. You can catch him all day long.
But I think overall, Donahue
Got it all day
was
long.
pretty dominant in that first round. Submission attempts, ground and pound, you know, positional control. There wasn't a lot of offense from Lonnie Fescue in that first.
Yeah, that's very much one of those. This is very much one of those rounds where each fighter said, "Okay, I gave you my best for one round. You gave me your best for one round. Let's keep doing it." So this is a surprisingly even fight based on the first round.
Okay, fighters, are you ready?
Yeah, 100%.
Are you
I mean,
ready?
You know, we'll see how well Fescue's gas tank,
Let's fight.
you know, is faring after defending for so much. You know, a lot of guys are great on offense, you know, keeping a high motor, but you know, you force them to defend a lot, and they, you know, whether it's, you know, nerves or just being not having to a chance to rest when they're defending, they get exhausted a lot quicker. So we'll see if Fescue does okay in this second round.
So far, he just left an arm wide open for a Kimura attempt by Donahue. Doesn't look like he has it too well. I don't know if Fescue really has one to too frequently be submitted. He usually finds a way to just kind of use his you said that brute dad strength to find his way out of submissions and into an advantageous position like he's in right now, which is in the mount. But Donahue finesses his way into guard.
Yeah, and Fescue also strikes me as the kind of guy that is going to be stubborn enough to let the arm get broken, and if the fight gets stopped, then it's stopped. But otherwise, maybe the opponent loosens their hold after snapping a limb, so he can get out that way. I feel like
the old rub some dirt on it effect, you mean?
Oh, absolutely. He is not going to concede too often.
Fair enough. Far be it from me to judge on that one. But my goodness, we are seeing a very stubborn Fescue. However, we are seeing Donaghy just lay in on this fight.
Anytime Fescue is getting a bit of a positional advantage or looking somewhat, threatening, Donaghy reverses position, ends up back on top. That's got to be frustrating for Lonnie Fescue. I mean, he's not necessarily the king of ground and pound here at the Global MEGAFist, but he's one of the best practitioners of ground and pound in the tournament. And,
it's definitely a finesse game. It's a finesse versus brute strength. This is where obviously finesse will win out.
Head control, take the back.
It's timing. It's strategic placements, and I don't know if that's something that Donaghy uses from his puppet show days. I guess maybe when you're acting or you're doing puppetry. And maybe you use timing of it. I don't know. I'm grasping for straws here. However, what I do know is that we are going to a third round for this one.
You're going back to the strikes. You're looking perfect.
No, neither did I. I mean, it could be
On the ground, you can catch him all
expert
day long
body
without
control
trying that armbar.
from
You can catch him all day
Donaghy
long.
is just allowing him to manipulate
got it all.
Fescue and move him, where Donaghy chooses, and Fescue is just not skilled enough to stop it with his power. It does take skill and technique in some spaces to shut down a ground practitioner.
Gets that back, you fight that 2-on-1. If he gets that body lock, you gotta
Not
fight
about
it
that.
off.
Well, we
Okay,
are going to
fighters,
go
are you ready?
to
Are you ready?
we're gonna go to a third round. So 4
Let's fight.
points
We got
up
5
for
minutes,
grabs. We didn't really mention that quite yet, but by winning by a decision, Lil 42 the Answer got 3 points to his name, putting him at 8 points. And what we're looking at right now is the winner of this getting 4 if they can finish in the third round, 3 if it goes to a decision again. Fescue coming in to this one with 6 big points. Donaghy at 0, looking for anything, just anything at this point.
Way to work.
Yeah, he's definitely had opportunities to finish, whether with he's looking for a Peruvian necktie here. That is not a common submission even among the the well-trained professional ranks.
Yeah, well, again, it's sometimes we just see. Now he's got a guillotine, which is a little bit more commonplace, but again, that's the beauty of this. When we see amateurs, when they don't know what they don't know, he may not know he's doing that. He may just think, hey, I'll put my leg here, I'll do a little twisty here and pull at something, and maybe he gets hurt.
Yeah, you think, okay, if I put my arm around his neck, that's good, but if I can put my leg up over here, he can't slide out that way, and, not knowing it, but he's still locking up a submission that is, a pretty high-level stuff.
Control the clinch. Yep.
And here's Fescue, who, I have to say, he might be behind on this one. He might have to go for, and he's going for, that looks like an Americano or a key lock at this point.
Yeah, he is. That is certainly something that you can just brute strength your way through a submission hold of that nature. Donaghy's looking calm though.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be too bothered by it. I don't know if this is,
Pick that leg up.
yeah, I don't know what to make of this, to be honest with you. We are potentially seeing Gabe Donaghy pull off an upset victory.
Elbow.
Yeah, absolutely. Big ground and pound from Donaghy.
He's just putting the exclamation point. He's just leaving no doubt. He's trying to get that extra point. I mean, any points at this point for Donaghy are valuable, but a win over Fescue would be massive.
100% agree with you, Derek. This is an impressive showing from Gabe Donaghy.
We do go to a decision. yet again. However, I don't know if we really, well, Feskew's raising his arm. I guess you got to just try to convince the judges if you can. I think we all kind of know where this is going to go, and I think we know that we are going to see a fairly surprising result. But the tenacity, the never giving up of Gabe Donaghy in this one. He didn't just you don't want to say brute forced his way to a win, but he just kept busy the entire 7.5 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. That was a great performance from Donaghy.
And I think, I'd be surprised if we see anything other than a win right now, but let's just kind of go to it for the official word. The decision. And yes, it is in fact Donaghy getting 3 big points. Facing that 0, he's 1-2 this season. Fescue, 1-2 as well, 6 points. And that's erasing a bit of a. It's not erasing, but that's very much. Excuse me there. Pardon me. Apologies for that production error there. But that is definitely something to behold. Folks, we do want to let you know that if you're new to Global MEGAFist 12, we talked about points, we talked about standings, things like that. We do have a format to explain to you. It is a round robin with a knockout format, but it's probably best to explain it. Here is a quick recap of how the Global MEGAFist 12 works.
The Global MEGAFist 12 is a grueling competition like nothing ever seen before in mixed martial arts. First, the 12 fighters are drawn at random into 2 groups of 6 fighters each. Each fighter will face off against the other 5 in their group. A win is worth 3 points, while a draw is worth 1. In addition, bonus points are awarded for how fast a fight is won. Winning in the 3rd round is worth 4 total points, a second round win is worth 5, and finishing a fight in the 1st round gets you 6 points in all. After all 5 rounds of competition, the 2 fighters who finish in last place are relegated from Global MEGAFist 12 and must earn their way back in next season. They will be replaced by 2 fighters from the HyperFist qualifying tournament. The 2 5th-place fighters will be matched up against 2 more fighters from the HyperFist qualifiers, with the winners earning their spot in next season's Global MEGAFist 12. The top 2 fighters from each group advance to the semifinals, where the 1st-place fighter from each group will take on the 2nd-place fighter from the other. The winners of these fights will do battle for the championship. It all comes down to one thing: win, and win fast. And the title of Global MEGAFist 12 champion awaits.
Well, that is how the Global MEGAFist 12 works. Hopefully that is a good explanation for you. It's a great tournament. We praise Most Glorious and Honorable Mr. Naga for bringing it to us. Even if we are on a moving riverboat and we have to keep social distance, we miss you all at the Nougaty Center. We hope you can enjoy it from the comfort, safely from your own home. However, we do have more fights to come. Coming up next, Oliver Lehman versus Dan Rodenta. That one is happening right now. this very interesting fight. 15-pound weight advantage for Lehman. Don't say that often, but of course these are the heavyweights. Got a 2-inch reach and height advantage. I'm not sure I want to lead. I want to touch the talent show thing. Do you have anything to say about their statistics as fighters? Ready? I don't want to touch that one.
I mean, as you know, I feel I've mentioned before. You know, Lehman, you know, is a bigger, bulkier guy. Is really able to put a lot of power and weight behind his strikes, and his record, you know, from last year and this year has shown that. Rodenta, you know, he's just a little. He's built a little too small, I think, for this division. If we had a 205 division, or I think he might be a little bit too big to cut all the way down to middleweight. But
it's gonna be a tough one for him.
That's just the breaks of this, you know, the situation.
Yeah, it's not even the winter time where he's bulking up for the winter. Like, this would be him at his leanest here in the summertime. However, Lehman, 6 wins so far, all of them by knockout or TKO. So we know he's got a style and it works. Oddly enough, Rodenta has the same sort of track record. All of his 3 wins are via KO or TKO.
Yeah, you love to see two guys with high finishing rates go at it. A big shot from Lehman. I mean, sometimes you do see guys that are a little scared of each other's power and they refuse to engage, but not in this case. You know, there's no.
Again, well, Lehman's. Rodenta is down 0-2 on this season so far. He's got to go for broke, even if it will lead to him being ultimately KO'd again. I don't want to say it's an inevitability, but it is something to be watched out for.
Yeah, I mean, we just saw, you know, a guy like Gabe Donahue, a traditional, you know, underperformer, you know, have a great showing. So maybe something like that can spark some confidence in Dan Rodenta to come out there and really take it to a guy like Lehman.
Very nice to see that, no doubt. But we are seeing just some really rough strikes being thrown.
Yeah, Lehman is calm, he's patient, he knows the knockout's going to come. It's just a matter of time. But Rodenta is, you know, furiously throwing his hooks, trying to stick and move.
Yeah, he's actually being very patient, is Oliver Lehman. Just the confidence he has. Oh, but that might do it.
Stop. That's it. It's over.
Gets him at the dying seconds.
2 seconds from safe. Well, not really safety. It was probably going to end quickly into the second round, but wow. 2 seconds from the bell.
So uncomfortable to watch, and yet so beautiful to see when it happens. And there's just not much more you can really say at this point when you look at that. I mean, it was just, he was patient, he waited it out, and he got what he needed, which was a big victory for Oliver Lehman. That time he gets 6 big points.
It felt like he landed 4 or 5 shots before Rodenta even hit the ground as he was falling. Lehman then kind of picked up the pace and just unloaded as Rodenta was crumpling to the canvas.
Just the scariest power. Just the absolute scariest power.
And he has utmost confidence in it. He's not rushing things. He knows it's going to land and it's going to shut the lights out.
Yeah, he broke down his opponent. He broke down Dan Rodenta, a man he didn't have to. And he went and did that.
Wow.
And now we're going to see Wanderin' Mo Volt taking on Fritz Milgram. Not even a chance to talk about that one. And here we go. tail of the tape in this one. The bigger fighters. Bolt, not used to being the undersized fighter, but he's getting up 15 pounds to the very large, very tall Milgram. And balloon animals, huh?
What kind of struck me is what Milgram would be going for.
Are you ready?
My understanding
Yes.
is he's going to use his static electricity and make them stick to things. So
Yeah. That was my question. Is he gonna make him stick to himself or to others? And I guess that answers it.
now again, Fritz Milgram, the man with electricity coursing through his veins. He's a scientist. I don't know if he experimented on himself, but what a judo throw by jam band junkie Wanderin' Mo Volt. Takes Milgram to the ground. This is how you defeat a man like Fritz Milgram, who has all of his power in his strikes. And Volt is just in the mount, just taking his time. This is very smart.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a rare individual that can generate power from their back. Good reversal for Milgram though, but Volt, if he's gonna win this, I think he's got to keep Milgram on his back. I mean,
That's the thing, is that Fritz Milgram can literally generate energy and generate power from himself. He has got electricity coursing through his veins. And yet he's not the one named Volt.
yeah, I mean, we saw from Fritz's intro video, he is a career 7-2 mark. He is, another guy that could have easily won the whole thing last year, just fell a little short. He is a dangerous guy to fight.
Milgram did in fact dominate. He won the entire group stage, finished top, went 5-0, no question about it. He is the powerful one of any group, but he already has a loss in the group stage for the first time. He did lose to Jeff Perkins, so will those two meet again? It's very possible.
Oh, that would be a great rematch. I'd love to see any day of the week. Oh, big shot from Volt. Fritz can take it though. He's got a solid chin. Another big toss from Volt.
That he has, and again, Volt he's got a good strategy. It just doesn't seem to be really working out for him because, well, he's going for a submission here. This isn't a bad strategy at all, going for Milgram.
Give me a clean break, guys. Clean break.
No, it's pretty solid. He needed to isolate Fritz's hips a little better. Maybe go for a full guard Kimura, just really lock things down. But I think time is going to run out either way.
Hands up inside.
That's true. And
all right, the leg kicks are there.
I want 4s and 5s with the punches now, all right? We can't hold back now. Cannot hold back.
I don't want to say an
Give me a couple of
inevitability,
deep breaths.
but
More important, you go out there and
we're
do it.
definitely seeing a bit of a laying in waiting period. I think Milgram going to try to see if he can get his opponent Volt to tire out a little bit and work from there. Very interesting to see how this plays out.
It'd be a solid strategy most times, but with
Don't vary from the
points
game
at
plan.
play,
Pay attention
it's
to me.
always risky
Don't vary from
to
the
wait too long and end up,
Are you ready?
shorting yourself on some desperately needed points, especially if,
Let's fight.
at the end of the season you find yourself on the outside looking in. But there's Milgram with some big shots.
Yeah, he's already going for it, just mauling, just absolutely hammering down on Wanderin' Mo Volt.
Yeah, those are some big shots. Volt's lucky to have survived it. It's always dicey to praise a fighter's toughness or their chin because that just kind of means they get hit a lot.
Volt can take one. I mean, especially when we're talking about someone like Fritz Milgram. He is really putting it to.
Absolutely. I mean, a guy like Milgram, even with great defense, he's still going to land some shots, and it's you better have a good chin to back it up. because he is going to land unless you somehow just completely dominate him on the ground or something. But
Well, and I think even Milgram is kind of wondering what is it going to have to take this guy out.
Beautiful.
And I mean, he's staying the course. I think most fighters would get a little frustrated, would maybe make a mistake. But I think this shows how talented Milgram is.
yeah, he's waiting for his moments. He's like Lehman, he does not typically rush things. He's allowing Volt to make a mistake, to maybe overextend himself for a takedown attempt or anything really to just provide the opening that Fritz needs to close the show.
Use the elbow.
No doubt about that. But I think what we're seeing right now is
He's got to be
Volt
careful,
is
though.
yeah, Volt is really going for it. He's
There you go, nice.
he's trying his damnedest to try to find the
Don't let
to
him
just try to find a way to either score some points, outlast.
Don't let those hands go.
I don't.
1 minute.
I can't say I know what the end game strategy is, other than just to survive.
Yeah, I mean he's gone for a submission here or there, and he's landed some ground and pound, nothing with real intentions behind it to
Pressure.
hate to use this phrase with a guy like Milgram to find the off switch to turn the power out on Milgram, but I think he's just trying to keep busy and wear out Fritz Milgram going into this third round.
I think that's a very good assessment there, Lucille, as we head to that third round.
Good.
And we're going to see how this plays out.
Try and hold that figure four. Okay, push the pace. Push the pace on it.
I'm not sure I necessarily know the answer.
You gotta fight it off.
But, Milgram looks...
Now, on the ground,
He looks
you
a
can
little
catch him
tired,
all day
but I mean,
long
anyone
that
would
triangle
after
arm.
two
You can catch him all day long,
rounds of
okay?
fighting. Volt looks
Got it all day long.
strangely calm. I will say this is a bit more of a back and forth fight than I would have expected.
Yeah, especially as we're seeing in the replay this early knockdown. I would have thought, Milgram would have, finished Volt off very soon after, but Mo just toughed it out, and he might have taken that second round just on what he was able to do for the rest of it. I mean, Fritz had, I guess, the first 10 seconds of round 2, and Mo was fairly dominant for the rest of it.
I think the main thing as we head to this third round is they're going to start trading, and Volt feels Volt's going to feel confident now. He's going to be trying to look to put a finish in, or at the very least survive. I think there's something to be said surviving the distance with Fritz Milgram. He knows this is a fighter that he had trouble with last year, but I think there is there's definitely some possibility that he can outlast, and he can maybe gain some confidence and work his way into position.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that last year Mo Volt was fighting, but he was also following bands. He was going to festival grounds and spending a lot of time there. This year he's on the Axapathlon 24/7, and even if he's not training, it's at least keeping him a little more focused.
Yeah, there's not as many
fights.
substances for him to be a bit out of it. Let's just call that what it is. What we do see is I'm surprised Milgram is when he charges back in. I don't know if he was drawing him in, but he's taking a couple of big shots from Volt.
Absolutely, these are some. I mean,
Very
both
surprising.
guys are. At heavyweight, it doesn't take much to really get a lot of power going from the stripes.
Oh, and there it is. There it is. Oh, good God, he's knocked out, and Milgram is just hammering.
Stop it! God.
Oh, the man is unconscious. And Milgram, well, again, the switch was turned off on Volt. Wow. I mean, that's really all you can say is just wow.
Yeah.
Big. Looping right hook, lead hook, slumps him over. The legs and arms land in an unnatural fashion. That's unsettling, so let's see it again. And we cut right before Milgram lands just a big punch to the unconscious body and face of Wonder and Mobile. I'm sure he'll be fine. Fritz Milgram, your winner, improves to 10 points. Even though he suffered a loss already, he's got showing he's not ready to give this up just yet.
Absolutely, he is ready to return to the playoffs. It looks like.
No doubt about that. Well, folks, we're going to take a quick break from the action and explain to you what you will see in our next episode in 2 weeks' time, June 29th, same time, same place, right here on the Atsa Paddlein. Of course, thanks to our social distancing protocol, thanks to Most Glorious and Honorable Mr. Naga. June 29th, 2 weeks' time, we will be back here with the middleweights as they go through their third fight of the group stage. Big ones on there. Ezekiel Subset Alpha versus Paranorman, our host. Gordon Wu has been quite the fighter lately. He has got Ken Dahl. I think the one thing we're seeing is that the middleweight division might be the most unpredictable one this season.
Oh, absolutely. After last season where, certain guys were kind of running away with things, we have returned to parity. The Hyperfist guys, Ezekiel Subset Alpha, Ed Pick Yoon have really stepped it up, and the guys that got relegated last year, they're no longer there, so there's no easy wins for any of these fighters in any of these matchups.
Good point. A very good point there, and of course that is going to be what you will see in 2 weeks' time. However, we've got another 2 more fights to come tonight in the heavyweight division. Coming up next is the 2-0 Jeff Perkins taking on the all-seeing Zoltan. Of the evening, our second to last fight. Y'all seeing Zoltan taking on handsome Jeff Perkins. They've got identical stats. You see, this is not one where handsome Jeff is going to have the size advantage.
No, it's not. He's got the same height and weight, but he's definitely built a lot different than Zoltan. He's got his powers located in some other spots than Zoltan does.
No doubt about that. Perkins has just been a huge new addition to the heavyweight division. He's got 3 knockout or TKO victories. He's 5-0-1. Does have a rare draw on his record from the Hyperfist, but he has shown how tough he can be. And they're just slugging it out. The all-seeing Zoltan, his 2 wins have come via knockout or TKO. So This is going to be a good striking battle, I think.
Use your feints. Throw.
But again, you have a fortune teller, a soothsayer, taking on, well, a former football tight end, now become a plus-sized model. I noticed that his talent will be 5 minutes of flexing. I don't know how to feel about that, other than uncomfortable. But that is a feeling I experience quite a bit these days.
Yeah, I mean, you just have to, I guess, roll with it. We're seeing Jeff in one of his favorite spots on top, just landing big shots, letting his weight pin down his opponent. But Zoltan easily gets back to his feet, which is a little surprising. Jeff's usually pretty good at controlling once he gets on top of his opponent.
Yeah, I'm very surprised at that myself. I think what we're seeing is just, again, some serious mauling from, it's a word we've been using a lot today, but some serious mauling by Jeff Perkins.
Stay tight in there.
He's really he just keeps you down up against that cage. Even if he lets you get up, you're still supporting his entire weight. All 235 of those muscly, as he would put it, handsome pounds. He's not called Handsome Jeff for no reason.
Yeah, he is relentless with these takedown attempts, these clinches. I don't know what Zoltan's got to really do. I mean, he'd like to maintain a bit more distance, but Jeff is just gonna barrel in and look for a takedown again. So
Stay up.
gotta rethink
It's not
at the
surprising.
break.
Yeah, and that goes to the break. And again, Zoltan, as you said, Zoltan needs to kind of rethink this strategy.
I need you to circle left and stay aggressive. Get that leg
Yeah,
kick
it's
going. Get that leg
he
kick
didn't
going.
get
No
much
defense.
going.
You can beat him.
I guess
Heavy
the benefit
hands,
is that he didn't
heavy
take a
hands,
ton of
alright?
damage.
Heavy hands, you're
Find those punches. Hey, and find the
He
knees
really
right
didn't
after.
have much to
Give the
offer
body
against
some feel, okay?
Handsome Jeff
Hey, you
in
want
that
it?
first round.
You want it? Let's go get it.
No doubt about that. He did throw a couple of strikes. That was a very strong outing by Handsome Jeff Perkins. What does Zoltan have to do at this point to try to get a better outcome out of that second round?
Well, if he can't keep Jeff off of him, he's
Try
going to
to
have
spin him
to
around. Don't let your back
go
sit
for,
on the
I'd say
cage, guys.
strikes
Are you
up
ready?
the middle,
Are you
uppercuts,
ready?
knees, things that, as Jeff comes in low for a takedown or
Let's go, guys. Fight.
closes into clinch, something that is not going to travel a long time like a hook coming around, just something straight up the middle.
We just see a couple of knees. He's actually laying in and getting Perkins to back off just a bit. Although I don't know
Yeah,
if distance is what Zoltan wants in this case, but it's what he's got.
Don't chase him. He's getting too comfortable.
Nice uppercut
big
again. He's
uppercut.
using those. Yeah, he's using that
Make him reach
distance.
it
Like
and make
it's
him pay.
exactly like you said. He's using it very smartly.
Yeah, anything to to keep Handsome Jeff from grabbing a hold and either getting the takedown or just pushing Zoltan into the fence is going to be ideal for the all-seeing Zoltan, just to get Jeff to respect Zoltan's striking and not just bull rush in every single time. But there's a big takedown from Jeff.
Yeah, that is the great equalizer of Perkins, but I was gonna say Zoltan very smartly kind of waits it out and says, nope, get back up, but he goes ahead and he engages, and I guess he realizes some of that top time could be extra points. I'm a bit
Perfect. You're halfway there.
I'm a bit at a loss here for words in what to make of this.
Yeah, I mean, you see it sometimes. A fighter will get sucked into kind of an ego battle of, well, this guy, really did a number on me in the first round on top position, so I'm gonna get him one back with the same techniques in the second. But Zoltan just doesn't have the capabilities.
No, and that's got to be it. Yeah. Well, that is how you end a fight in emphatic fashion. Goodness me, it's all over, and Handsome Jeff Perkins does it yet again. A big victory for him.
Yeah, that was impressive, and I am surprised that Zoltan didn't see that coming by just on the ground with Handsome Jeff.
My goodness. Well, that's all it took, was just enough strikes to get him down. The power, the awesome power of handsome Jeff Perkin is something to behold and something that I have yet to see anyone be able to withstand here in the Golden MEGAFist 12. He is now 3-0, 16 points.
Incredible.
2
Absolutely
second-round victories, 1 first-round victory, all via TKO and knockout. All via TKO. I mean, the man is dangerous. The man is very dangerous, and we are looking at an odds-on favorite at this point. Talk about odds-on favorite, you don't get more favorite than the defending champion, Dr. Igor Tonic. He's in action against the other newcomer, Marty Sweats. Right now, it's happening. It's our main event. Tail of the tape for our main event. The largest competitor, Dr. Igor Tonic, 260 pounds. That's the only real advantage he has as far as size goes. Says he's going to do a public healing. Lucille, I know you are a big fan of the Good Doctor and a patron of his wares. Anything about that you can add?
It just shows the benevolence of the Good Doctor to provide free healthcare for everyone on the Aztapatlan, during these trying times.
Of course.
There it is.
I believe he's gonna have some magnets and some crystals and various potions and solutions he has been working on.
As
when
one
not
does,
fighting.
I guess. I'm a bit, sure.
Yeah, I mean, normally this kind of stuff will run you, a couple $100, but I'm sure it's just going to be a little teaser for everyone. Just
Yes, you're not going to give the whole thing away for free. I mean, I understand. He's a man of business. He's a man of means. By no means king of the road. However, okay, sure. And I think, if I recall, Marty Sweats said he was going to do speed
eating.
Okay.
Yeah, I wonder what he's going to be chowing down on.
I wonder as well. Perhaps he's going to visit the buffet and bring a plate back for himself. I understand that he is a man who likes to stream himself eating. He's a live streamer that eats. I guess this is his equivalent of the speed run.
Come on, what meaning?
I guess awesome foods done quick, maybe.
I guess so. Awesome meals done quick, perhaps.
Yeah.
Inside to the jaw.
I think that's a good one. Well, perhaps it's an awesome meal. I don't know. The buffet. You kind of make your own. You make your own luck at the buffet, I suppose.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's a choose your own adventure of a culinary experience.
No doubt about that.
Double that up.
Whatever it is, I usually get something that's rice-based, as that's probably the safer option at this buffet. I don't know when or how we are restocking, or when or how the foods are being kept.
Yeah.
Again, I cannot stress enough. This is not a riverboat intended to be sailed upon any sort of seas. This is a stationary riverboat in Branson, Missouri, that we
Yeah.
have somehow commandeered. I'm not even gonna say we, because I don't know how it happened. It just started moving, and Mr. Naga said, this is where we live now.
There you go, nice.
Yeah, as far as I was aware, it was an attraction, and most of it was, you know, the bottom decks, I guess, were filled with cement to make a foundation, and
Push that knee and go
We are
Someone-
somehow sailing that. I don't understand.
Time.
either someone, you know, sheared off above that line of cement, or we're just out there in all defiance of physics and God himself.
I mean, I don't understand how boats work normally. And I certainly don't understand how this riverboat works.
That triangle and that arm bar.
Yeah,
You can punch it all day long in it.
The whole paddle boat system doesn't make sense to me.
You gotta fight it off.
It's baffling. I'm just going with it because there's no choice really.
No, yeah, we're kind of stuck here. I do feel like maybe a trip to the dessert bar of the buffet after tonight's show might be in order. But then again, that just could be the sadness talking. I don't know.
Yeah, it talks louder and louder every day for me, so that's probably what I'll do. I'll try some new ice creams or cakes, something like that.
I'll probably try the same ice creams I've had. Maybe I'll just mix the proportions of the
Gentlemen, you ready?
of
You ready?
toppings. I think that'll probably be my solution.
Let's
I will
fight!
retreat to my cabin, and I will
Don't throw while he's backing up.
wait for the next time we do this again. Now every 2 weeks, which is feels longer and longer here on the fight boat. But yeah, that's
I feel remiss that we have not really talked about this fight, which is between two very top-level competitors. But
yes, and I saw it was very much a ground battle that I saw Sweats had the upper hand towards the end.
yeah, he did. You know, just sometimes you don't. This is one of the few times I hear another person's voice. So it's good to just talk about things, but I'll try and do better and do my
very much the same.
non-paid commentary job, lest the most honorable and glorious Mr. Naga replace me.
Exactly. Very much the same as I feel in that case. But nonetheless, we are here. This is our main event. Both fighters coming into this one, 1-1, looking to find their way up the tables. Dr. Igor Tonic, of course, did win it. And oh my God, he drops him. Could this be the end?
Big heavy shots. He's looking for the finish, but Sweats is hanging tough. That is
Certainly
surprising.
is. He is completely just working himself into a position that he can survive. He's in survival mode right now. It's kind of like when you hit that wall when you're eating and you just got to continue on, press forward. The meat sweats might be hitting him, but he's got to keep going. And that's the only way he'll have a chance against the good Dr. Igor Tonic.
Yeah, Igor's such a strong fighter. You know, honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, all that eating might be an advantage for Marty because, you know, working those jaw muscles will just really strengthen your ability to absorb a punch. You know, your jaw's not going to be moving around as a pivot, you know, to have your brain slosh around if you've really got developed jaw muscles.
That is something I had never thought of before, actually, and that is a very good point, Lucille, that the jaw muscles, I mean, that's where all the, you know, he might be disproving all by himself the theory that you can't, in fact, work out your chin.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you get hit in the point of the chin and it rotates around and you get knocked out, but if you're a guy like Marty Sweats, you just clench it and your jaw's not going anywhere. You've eaten a whole ham every day for the last 10 weeks. That stuff is not moving.
That is an accomplishment. That is a workout. You eat a ham, what was it, every 10 weeks, and he's got a lot of damage to his face. I mean, if there is, if looks could determine how this is going to shape out, I think Dr. Igor Tonic is just proving a point. He's done everything but get the finish at this point. He did drop him, but again, just a punch right to the square of the back.
Yeah, and we're seeing something interesting. You know, some of the, you know, a guy like Lehman, a guy like Fritz Milgram, you know, are kind, you know, him, those two and Tonic are kind of our big three heavy hitters of last season, and they're much more reserved in terms
Let's
of
fight.
seeking out the finish. As we're, oh my God, as we're seeing Tonic just rushing out and eating a punch, but he is much more aggressive, I feel, than the other two. He is going to seek that finish, sometimes to his detriment.
It's very interesting, yes, and again, sometimes you don't want to be watching the other fights and basing your performance on those. However, you do, if you're Dr. Igor Tonic, you're into the third round, you can at most get 4 points. You can't help but look at the fact that your rival, Oliver Lehman, as he is now currently in the Mount by Sweats, is at 16 points and 3-0. Dropping points left and right. It's going to be a battle for second place at that point, which again, second place still makes it. You don't want to be you want to be in that same spot, getting distance between you and the rest of the field.
Oh, absolutely. A big ground and pound.
And he goes for, this is a submission. This could be 4 big points. I don't know if he's got it. I don't think he has it, but
trying to break that grip, but Tonic,
Just like that. Keep doing that.
he's a cagey veteran, no doubt. That I will say. He knows how to find his way into situations that are advantageous to him. And he is 100% found himself back on top again. And grounding and pounding. 1 minute to go in this fight.
I think he's definitely. Well, he definitely won the second round. The first, kind of a toss-up. I'll admit I wasn't watching it very intently. I was discussing other things with you, Derek.
Yeah, I was kind of just wistfully staring off into the middle distance. Didn't think what it would like to be walking on land again.
Yeah.
30 seconds to go in this, our main event. Dr. Igor Tonic in the black. Meat Eater Marty Sweats in the yellow. And Tonic left and right in this one, just on top, demanding a victory. He might have to take a decision after this one, which again, may not do much for Marty Sweats other than just be a moral victory, but nonetheless, a moral victory is still a victory.
Oh, big shots from Tonic, though. He is trying to the bitter end to get this finish, but Sweats
It's over.
is just so strong and so hard to put away.
It wasn't for without trying. Dr. Igor Tonic did everything in his power, and kudos to Marty Sweats for lasting it. However, I think we kind of know how this one's going to turn out, and it's going to be in favor of the good doctor.
Yeah,
I would imagine. I would have to imagine. I can't.
I would imagine as well. I think Marty Sweats might have to go for speed eating some soup at the talent show after this fight.
Perhaps, yeah, I think, I don't know if he can even see. Depth perception might be an issue. I think he might have to be spoon-fed at that point as well. But let's go ahead and see what the decision says. Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. By the way, I know you were saying that you were something about feeding his soup. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I wanted to acknowledge that we do have a winner, and it is going to be Dr. Igor Tonic.
Yeah, I was just going to say maybe Dr. Tonic's first public healing demonstration can be on Marty Sweats.
Well, that would be nice. I think that would be very nice of him.
Yeah, be a bit of synergy. For the Global Megafist, for the talent show, for everyone on the Atsa Paddling to, kind of come together 6 feet apart together.
No doubt about that. Well, that is our show, ladies and gentlemen. We hope you enjoyed it. Just a recap of how things shook out. Jeff Perkins, a TKO victory in the second round. Fritz Milgram took him 3 rounds to knock out Wanderin Mo Volt. And Gabe Donahue, the surprise decision victory. Let's see what that does to the standings. And we are starting to see a starting to see some daylight. Jeff Perkins certainly well ahead of the rest. But Fritz Milgram, that was a big win to put everyone else at 1 and 2. That is tighter and tighter as we go down the tables.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is going to come down to finish times, I think. If anyone wants to try and ease in or sneak into second place, it's still possible. I mean, yeah, all it takes is one first round finish. And looking at the next episode, Milgram and Fescue. I mean, if Fescue can get something in the second round or earlier, he's got a bit of a leap over Milgram there.
Yeah, that is a big opportunity for Fescue. That's going to be a big fight to watch out for in our next episode, episode 10 of the heavyweights, August 3rd. So that's a lot of time to prepare and plan. Let's go ahead to Group B. Dr. Igor Tonic with a decision victory. Same goes for Lil 42 the answer, but the big winner is Oliver Lehman. And let's see what it does to the standings. Look at that, 7 points between Lehman and Tonic. Just like what we were saying, it is moving Oliver Lehman easily into a place where he can clinch a top 2 spot in no time flat.
Yeah, that inability for Dr. Igor Tonic to finish off Marty Sweats. Nothing against Tonic. I mean, Sweats is a great competitor, but that might be an issue. We have to imagine Lehman's going to handle 42 the answers. That'll help Tonic a little bit in terms of people breathing down his neck. But, if Adder can get a good finish, and Tonic somehow doesn't take care of Rodenta in enough time, I mean, that's another guy that's right there. It's a very precarious situation in this middle of the pack in the heavyweight Group B standings right now.
That it is. Well, again, that is how that's going to look as we go back in August for episode 10. However, join us again next time in 2 weeks' time for our next episode, episode 8, the middleweights having their third fight of the group stage. That's what you'll see in 2 weeks' time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, here on the Atsa Paddle. We'll be there because where else do we have to go? Lucille, it was lovely having you as always. I think we have a dessert bar waiting for us to go pry into. That being said, it was always fun to have you here and to watch some good fights. It's the highlight of the 2 weeks because it is the main thing that happens over the course of the 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's great to be here, and it's horrible to have to leave and go back to my cabin, which seems to grow smaller every day. But I think that's just boat psychosis.
Yeah, boat psychosis, a very real thing. Thank you for joining us here. Hope you all are staying at home, staying safe as we are, and that your sanity is holding up better than ours is. This has been the Global MEGAFist 12. We will see you again in 2 weeks' time.